working on my 30 Days of You album. Now, if you've been listening to our podcast, which is over at thepinkcamera.com, and it's called Coffee Time with Sandra and Lisa. So we are doing a 30 Days of You. Rather than 30 Days of Gratitude, I'm doing a 30 Days of You journal, and it's going to be all about my mom, for Christmas. And I'm sorry about the printing in the background. I'm trying to get a whole bunch of stuff done, so please forgive me. So anyway, I wanted to show you, this is the album I'm using. This is a Snap album. So it has some paper in here, just plain. It's got some graph and some lined and everything else. It's got these 3 tabs in here, as well as some pocket pages. And some of them are full. Some of them are split in half for a 4x6. And some of them have the 3x4 quadrant. And then the other one has like the 2 3x4 and the one 4x6. And then the other one has this 2x2 and then 4x4s. So I just wanted to show you the album that I'm using. And I'm going to go over a couple other things that I've done. And hopefully if you want to take part in this, that this will help you out. So I have, this is no fancy journal or agenda or anything like that. This is just a cheap agenda I think I found at Walmart or Target or something like that. So I have it flipped to the month for November. And then what I've been doing, as you can see, I have a paper clip up here, and it's got a whole bunch of pictures that I want to use in this album, and I'm trying to see if, you know, there's a story or something that I can coordinate to it. So these are just pictures that I had found or I had printed out. So I'm just going to stake those off, and then I have the paper clip holding it. The other thing I have here is this little worksheet, and I created this for myself, and I decided to share it with you guys. So if you want to find it, it's over at thepinkcamera.com. So I wanted to break it down into sections that I wanted to work on. So I've got traits, milestones, another perspective, learned, stories, and other. So traits are like loving, animal lover, humor, playful, nurturing, stuff like that. Milestones are like things that they've accomplished or goals that they've set and they've, you know, done them. Like I have grandmother. My mom is very proud of being a grandmother, so I have that in there. And then I have travel. She's traveled quite a few places, so I've traveled to Europe and a couple other places. Another perspective, I'm going to be asking some family members if they can, you know, kind of give their take on something they've learned or something that they respect my mom for. So there's that. Then there's these things that I have learned from my mom that I've wrote down. And then there's any specific stories that I want to tell. I just kind of briefly write them in here. And then anything other, so like hobbies, changes in their lives, or things that they have gone through, good and bad otherwise. So then I just have etc. on there. So that's what I have for that. And then I also wanted to show you, just so that I can make sure I am doing 30 days and just kind of, you know, keeping my thoughts organized. What I've been doing is just doing a brief little note per day as to what I'm going to be doing a page about. Whether or not I get to it at that specific day, it at least gives me an idea for something that I want to do. So that way I know I have my 30 stories rather than going one, you know, flipping through the book 1, 2, 3. So that way I know. So I have, for the first day, I have mom text. I have a mom text because I text my mom every day. So I want to, like, I've been asking her questions, trying to not, you know, let her know what's going on. But anyway, and then I put where she was born, her pierogi story that she told me when she was out with when Sandra was here. Another one I put is animal lover, and then I have an X over top of it because I've done that story, so I want to make sure I've done it. And then this is like Natasha. I had text her and I said, well, what is one thing you've learned from grandma? And so I have her little take on it there. So there's that. And then if I have like a longer story, say for example, if I was to write a story about how, I had one wrote down here. What did it say? Oh, how my mom kicked me out of the house so that I would go to school. Long story, but basically I was in kindergarten. I didn't want to go to school, and she actually like kicked me out of the house and locked the door behind me so I would go on the bus. So if I have like a longer story to tell, I would just put like kicked out of the house story, and then just put C notes. So then if it was for the 5th, I would just go to the 5th and write the story in here. And then that way, when I go to do the journaling, I have everything wrote down. Because this will just give me a bigger spot to write in. So anyway, that's what I'm doing for the mom book. And I'm just going to jump into doing a layout for you. And sit tight, and we'll talk to you soon. Okay, so I'm starting off with some pattern paper from Crate Paper. I'm just showing the album to you real quick and just showing you what it looks like. And this is a flip flap from Simple Stories that I'm going to use. And it's just going to house a 3x4 picture, and I'm going to use that to add a little bit of interest into the page. So the Crate Paper that I have came from a hot buy from Michaels a while ago, and it's just the best of Crate Paper. So there was a lot of papers in here that has florals, and it just looks very vintagey. And so I'm going to use that. So I just have it sitting off to the side and just you know, kind of making some mats. And then this piece of paper I'm going to cut down to a 3x4 so that way I can stick it in the pocket, and I'm going to house a title on the front side of this pocket. So then I'm just slipping it into the pocket just to make sure that it fits. And I'm just going to fuss with that a little bit, double check the placement of where I want it to be. And then I'm going to glue down this picture of my mom and 2 dogs. So she is a total animal lover, so I found these older pictures that I'm going to use to house kind of my basis for one of her traits. Like I had mentioned in the previous video, I've been kind of breaking down some of the journaling and such into different sections. So this is going to be one of the traits that I'm going to be working on for her. So I'm just going to take some blue StazOn ink with these alphas that came from Close to My Heart, and they are called Trinity Alphabet, and I've had them forever. And there's a big alpha, small alpha, and a super tiny alpha. So it's really good for journaling. I don't even know if they make it anymore because I've had it for such a long time, but really good. So I'm just going to show you some pictures of the layout because my camera ran out of battery. So I just added a lot of layering, added some images to the top, some floral die cuts, and just a lot of brown inking around the edges. And then I did some journaling about how my mom really loves animals, and then it's kind of hidden behind that little flap. So this picture here is of my daughter and my mom and her husband Neil, and I asked Natasha to tell me what her favorite trait of Grandma is. So she told me that her favorite trait of my mom is how my mom can totally embarrass herself and then laugh about it. And that kind of has taught Natasha a bit of humility on how it's okay to laugh at yourself and just kind of take stride in life. So I'm just using one of the pocket pages for this particular layout. So it's going to be very fast and easy. I'm going to take this kind of text alpha. It's got some letters in the background, and it just kind of emulates the school theme that Tasha has her grad cap on. And so I inked up the edges again with some brown ink. I believe it's Gathered Twig from Tim Holtz Distress Ink. And then there's this Project Life card that's got some gold on it, and it says love. And I'm just going to write some quick journaling about what Natasha had said on here. and just putting, I'm going to put that down on the card. Just trying to keep this part pretty simple. So some of the pages are going to be a little bit more complicated, and some of them are going to be a little bit more simple. So that is pretty much this layout. I'm going to just, you know, kind of look for a couple other things to find, add some gold splatters, add some wood veneers, but then for the most part, that's pretty much it. The other two layouts I have coming up are going to be a little bit more involved, so I'm going to try and break this down to 2 days per video, and I'm going to start showing those as I finish them. So I hope you guys take part in this challenge. This is turning out to be one of my more favorite albums and projects that I have ever done. It's just so meaningful. So I hope you give it a try. If you do, please give me a shout and let me know so that way I can look for it, or if you share it or tag it, that'd be awesome. So have a great week, and I will see you next time. Bye.